So this is a postpartum practice that works really well when your baby's settled, either because perhaps they're sleeping, having a little rest, or they're just happy lying in there, playing with their toys, lying on their blanket, or in their gym. They've hit their baby gym, and you can hit the gym with them. So I've put a couple of cushions here. They're not for the baby, they're for me. I'm going to come lie down. When you move from sitting to lying, ideally, don't go straight to lying on your back. So you come and lie down on your side, pause, and then roll over onto your back. And it just breaks the movement down, so you're less likely to strain your back or pull any muscles. And we're going to do this sequence in this resting position. So it's not any old lying on the floor position. I'm lying on my back, knees bent, and support for the head. So I've got 2 pillows here. You might find you only need 1. You might find you need more than 2. It's very personal, but the head needs to feel well supported. And it's so you're almost looking down into the center of your chest. So we're not looking up. We could look up every now and again and see what our babies are looking at, but the position we want for our own head and neck is the back of the neck long and almost like you're looking down into the center of your chest. Knees bent, so the back of the waist can widen and flatten, and that can often feel very, very good for a postpartum back that might be a little bit achy. So we're very stable here, there's nowhere to fall. We can start to feel our back widening and flattening, maybe even softening, releasing a little bit. And I invite you to see if you can have a similar feeling through your feet. So maybe you wiggle your toes a little bit. Could you imagine your feet were slightly longer, slightly wider? So your feet are nicely settled and stable as well. And bring your hands, wiggle your fingers and stretch your fingers, bring your hands so the palms of your hands rest just slightly over your lower belly. If you need to, put some padding under your elbows. So if it feels awkward, you can't get your hands comfortable on your belly, put some padding under your elbows, and we're going to rest like that. So a little bit of gentle touch on the lower belly, nice release for the lower back, giant feet. If it feels good, you can let your knees roll together. You can take your feet wider, let the knees roll together. And this is it to begin with. This is it, the position, the yoga pose, the postpartum yoga pose. Constructive rest. And see what's happening with your breath. So sometimes just arranging your body in this position is enough to provoke a lovely deep breath. Maybe even a sigh of relief. So I suggest you have 2 or 3 lovely deep breaths. Just waiting for things to settle. So we're setting up a really nice, stable, supported position so that anywhere around your body you might be holding tension, holding tightness, has got a little bit of time to realize, oh, could just let go. Not falling over. The floor is providing stability. Oh. So you might notice a little bit of softening around the hips. You might notice a little bit of softening in the belly. You might notice even a little bit of softening around the chest or the shoulders. And you can let there be a softening in your face. So maybe you could let your eyes close and let your forehead be smooth, cheeks soft, jaw and throat soft. You could have a little yawn. And aligning your attention now with the center line of your body. Enjoy another slow, deep breath. So being aware of the center line of the body, slowly breathing in. And slowly breathing out with a feeling of letting go. then a few normal breaths, just easy breathing. And after 3 or 4 normal breaths, again, a nice, slow, deep breath. So aligning your attention with the midline of the body. Slowly breathing in. And slowly breathing out with a feeling of letting go. Letting the breath settle. And one more time in your own time when it feels like just the right time. Enjoy a slow breath in. And a slow breath out with a feeling now of having arrived in this place at this time. And it may not be a particularly calm or quiet place. It might be that your baby has started to cry, or it might be that you have other children around that are making noise or asking you questions. And yet all of that can be happening, and you can still have this sense of center from which to move from. So if you're in a position to stay and do a little bit more, I want to ask you now to put your arms down by your sides and place your feet, if you've moved them, place your feet again hip width apart. Have your knees separate and the knees directly over your ankles. And we're going to make some gentle movements with the arms, coordinated with the breath, and that's quite important. So being aware of how we breathe is actually healing from the inside out. So with your arms by your side, palms turned down, with an inhalation, take your arms up into the air, and as far as they'll go above your head. And then as you exhale, bring your arms back down, and lightly rest your fingertips on the floor by your hips. I'm going to do that 6 more times. So inhale, float the arms up, exhale, gently float the arms back down. You can do it with your eyes closed, or you can keep your eyes gently open. The idea is to coordinate the movement with the breath and think less about stretching and more about softening, so that the movement can facilitate your lovely deep breathing. As you raise your arms, the chest lifts and opens to welcome the breath. And as you lower your arms, you're just saying goodbye to the exhaling breath with a little bit of control. So when you've done 6, or at the end of your next exhalation, leave your arms down by your sides. Let them completely relax. Turn your palms upward. See what's happening with your breath now. Pay attention to any sensations across your upper back and in your shoulders. And then take the pillows out from behind your head. So this next practice, you don't want any pillows behind your head. Make sure you don't put them on top of your baby, suffocate your baby. Okay, so pillows out from behind your head, arms again down by your sides, palms turned down. And this time we're going to do 2 movements. So we're going to be breathing in and raising the arms. You leave them up above your head, so they're on the floor if they reach, or squashing the baby, or just floating in the air. And as you exhale, you lift your hips. Not very far, so just so you just leave the floor. Stay in this position for a breath in. And then with the next exhale, lower the arms and lower the hips. And we're trying to coordinate those 2 movements so they both last the same amount of time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hips up. Staying for an inhale. And exhale, lower the arms and lower the hips. So remember, it's not about doing lots of stretching here. We're trying to coordinate the movement and the breath, so the breath can heal us from the inside out. Inhale, arms. Exhale, hips. See if you can get this movement to happen by using your feet. So you push your feet into the floor, let the pelvis lift. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, lower. Arms and hips together, one smooth movement. We'll do 3 more like this. Inhale, arms. Exhale, hips. Not too fast. Not too slow. But definitely moving in the direction of slow, smooth, and steady. So the more you do, what often happens is you start to lift your hips a little higher each time. Just be careful as that happens that you still keep your knees over your ankles, so don't let your knees swing out to the sides. And when you've finished, be at ease. You could take your feet a little wider apart and let the knees roll together again. You could rest your arms, palms turned up, and you might just gently roll your head from side to side. So not too fast, not too slow, not with a feeling of stretching, but more a sense of unraveling any tension in the back of your neck or the back of your head. You're just rolling it out on the floor like a little head massage. And letting the head roll back to center. If you would be more comfortable with your cushions, you could put your cushions back under your head. And if your baby by this point is saying, well, do you know what, I've been having a lovely time in the gym, but I want a bit of attention now, let me just show you what you might do with your baby so that you could continue this practice. Roll over to your side. And you might take your baby and say, well, come with me. We'll go in the gym together. I'm going to put my baby now down next to me. So I'm going to deal with the baby first, put the baby down first. And then I lie down on my side. And then tummy to tummy, I can roll my baby with me as I roll onto my back. So I've got the cushions for my head. I can sit my baby like this. If they're a bit older, they can sit up. Or a little newborn baby might be quite happy just to stay on their blanket right next to you. An older baby might be happier to see you. You can keep your eyes open and you can give them some massage, hold their hands, sing them songs. We're back in this constructive rest position, so your back can release. You can be aware of your breath. I know that resting and breathing is postpartum healing from the inside out. And it's lovely. You can watch what's happening in your baby gym. So we're going to do a little breathing exercise now in this position. So not particularly any movement, just working with a long exhalation. So the idea with this is that if you focus on the exhale, the inhale will take care of itself. So we're going to use a little bit of a sound to begin with, maybe just and then let the inhale arrive. And then a few normal breaths. Another sound you could use is a hum. Let the inhale arrive. And then normal breaths. Somewhere down at the end of the exhalation, the belly button sinks in and back towards the spine, very stable. Let the inhale arrive and then settle, normal breaths. So the sound on the exhalations both helps to lengthen the exhalations and also it helps settle your baby because babies like that. They like to hear you breathing, they like shing, they like humming, they like washing machine noises, white noises. Wait for the inhale. And then normal breath. So we're working with this idea that if we take care of the exhalation, the inhale will take care of itself. I'm going to roll my baby back down onto a blanket over here. So I'm not sitting up with the baby. I roll back to my side, put my baby down, and I can roll back over. Or if I needed to get up and feed or change, I could get up from the sideline position. Just let me show you now with hands free, baby there next to me. We can do this postnatal healing breath with a little bit of a hand gesture as well. So if you bring your palms together and rest them against your breastbone. Long exhale and you slide your hands onto your lower belly. Let the inhale arrive. And bring your hands back up to your heart. Normal breaths. So we don't want to get out of breath and we don't want to get uncomfortable. Normal breaths. Letting the breath settle. And what this gesture does is it allows us to really connect with the sensation of sending the love from our heart with those long exhales down into our womb, down into our belly, sending some healing, sending some caring, sending some support. By the end of the exhalation, the muscles there will have gently drawn in and back, and you can note that, and then let it all release. Allow the inhale to arrive by itself. Take care of the exhale, and the inhale will arrive by itself. So as far as I know, there's no upper limit on how long you can do that for. If you have time now to continue, continue. Let your back rest, let your breath heal you from the inside out while your baby's settled. When your baby's not settled, that's another kind of yoga altogether. So take care of yourself so that you can take care of your baby. What our babies need is a well cared for mummy.